Hey, it's Tpok. I got back from Italy last night, and yeah, really jet lagged. Just went to bed, didn't record anything. So today I'm back, and I'm in a trattoria, or I think that's what it's called, or trattoria. I don't know. I saw a bunch of them though in Italy. So yeah. Buongiorno, or ciao, whatever you prefer. So Torta thinks this is a nice place. Torta's first impressions were surprisingly positive. But after that, she didn't say much anymore. For some reason, dinner went by just shy of complete silence. She had been enthusiastic when she first tasted the lasagna recommended by Fall, but there had been a strange mood floating around after that. Is something wrong?
なんでもないよ。
You can't fool me. You've been acting strangely all night. Do you not like the place?
それはないって。ただ、ちょっと気になることがあって。
Like what?
クリスには全然関係ないこと。ごめんね。せっかく久しぶりに一緒にご飯食べられたのに。
That's okay, you didn't. I think it just got darker.
そういうことだから気にしないで。
Got it. Torta had gone back to her usual cheerful self, but I was still left with a poor taste in my mouth. I decided to let it slide, as I probably wouldn't be getting any answers by pressing her anyway. I'll be going home now.
私も帰るね。また明日。ってわけにはいかないんだっけ。また今度ね。
Yeah, see you next time. I felt a pang of remorse at Torta's words. Despite that, I had been able to discuss many things with her today. Domenica. My practice sessions with Fall had begun in December. By Natale, she had officially become my partner for graduation. Ever since then, I'd practiced more than I would have ever imagined being capable of, and before I knew it, we had entered the final week. Oh yeah, speaking of practicing, I should probably be doing that for my viola. Turns out I have a duet, Thursday. Did not know about it at all. So, yeah, that's gonna be a surprise, or I don't know. We haven't practiced since January, which is bad, because we were like, scroll, but we were like, are we even gonna do a duet? We don't even know when it is. And then today we find out it's Thursday, so yay. Rather than feeling pain, I felt more fulfilled being mean to something than something to someone. What? My thoughts loomed to the sacrifices I had to make to arrive at this point. Ari probably wouldn't read a letter of mine even if I sent one. If anything, it was a viable excuse, but she would still know whether the letter itself had arrived or not. I was probably afraid to send the letter. You should still send one. Afraid of betraying Ari even more than I already had. And, while it was a very self-centered thought, I was afraid of what would happen when Fall found out. How would she react if I told her I had broken up with Arietta? What if I told her I had made amends with her? Didn't I already tell her I broke up? Or something?
クリス？
Huh? When I snapped back to reality, I found Phony peering at my face with a look of concern. I'd woken up just after noon and hadn't felt like doing anything. Before I knew it, evening had arrived. Had she been worrying about me all day? Her expression was unusually bleak. It told me she was seriously concerned about me.
起きてから何にも食べてないんでしょ?
I'll eat something when I get hungry. I wasn't as depressed as Forney might have thought. There was nothing wrong with my health, I just felt unbelievably sluggish. I was overcome by a sense of irritation that did not exist when I was with Fall or Torta. Because today was Sunday, my recollections of Ari were far more vivid. And I was waiting for a letter that would never arrive. Or was I? Today, I endlessly repeated such questions to myself. If I went to the mailbox right now and there was a letter from Ari inside, would I be happy? Unless that actually happened, I would never know.
わかった。もういいよ。
Sorry.
謝らないで。それならもうちょっと元気出してくれる方がずっといい。
Maybe I should go check the mailbox then.
来るの？
No, probably not.
ならなんで見に行くの？
Because I want to check. Oh, I scrolled apparently. I went to check the mailbox for reasons that Forney wouldn't find convincing. I doubt there's gonna be a letter. Playing with the lid of the mailbox, I checked and confirmed its emptiness numerous times, then finally went back to my room. I repeated this process several times until it had gotten dark out. In the end, Forney never brought up our usual Sunday ensemble. She was simply there for me until I fell asleep, acting as though the letter never existed, acting as though she had forgotten all about our tradition. I'd gone to such lengths to obtain approval from Fall to get the day off, and I ended up wasting it just like that. Lunedì. Gennaio. This morning marked the second time I had gone to the Institute on a Monday without sending anything. My life here would probably come to an end before I'd have the chance to get used to this routine. The original plan was to complete our graduation recital, then return to our hometown right after the graduation ceremony. So the letters would have ended there no matter what had or hadn't happened. Under normal conditions, today might have been my last, I thought as I glanced at the mailbox, not with regret, but with a sense of sentimentality. "10 on the dot. Good morning."
おはよ
That cheerful voice. The time I spent practicing with Fall. I realized I had completely gotten used to the cycle that I'd unconsciously wandered into. The scent lingering in the practice room calmed my mind. It wasn't just the scent though, simply the fact that she was here gave me peace of mind. And my feelings of guilt adjoined that peace of mind progressively... Adjoining that peace of mind progressively became stronger. The letter I didn't send and the letter that didn't arrive. It was another Blue Monday.
う。どうしたの？そんな顔して。やっぱり月曜日は辛い？
Sort of.
せっかくお休みにしたのに、ちゃんと休まなかったの？
That's not really it.
なら、
After my bitter reply, Fall was about to ask the reason but quickly shut her lips again. Perhaps it was intuition. She was pretty sharp after all. She might have already realized. Fall knew about Ari's breakup letter I received on the Sunday of last week. So she must have been thinking that something had happened yesterday, even though nothing actually did. I didn't receive a letter from Ari, nor did I write one to her. But still, it cast a shadow over my heart.
じゃあ練習しようか。夢中になって練習してれば、その間だけでも忘れていられるよ。ダメ？
Ha, no, you're right. Thanks. Sorry to have you constantly concerned over me about such trivial matters.
ううん。クリスさんに練習をさせるいいチャンスだったからね。
Yeah. After all, I'm always slacking, right?
そう思うなら、はい、練習。あと5日で本番なんだから。
Oh, geez, 5 days. Fall urged me to start by clapping her hands, exactly like the teacher of the music classes I used to attend. I did as I was instructed and set myself up in prescribed position, then rested my fingers on the Fortelle. I opened the score sheet on the first page and shifted my gaze towards Fall. Our eyes met and we synchronized our breathing. When we both felt we were ready, I used the first note as a sign to start. Oh, okay. New thumbnail image. Whenever a performance got going, my hands would start moving of their own accord. Why do I keep scrolling? While my hands wouldn't withdraw from the keyboard, the music progressed beyond my awareness. It was like I was watching the scene from afar. But today I did not experience the usual exhilaration amidst this heart-wrenching atmosphere. All I could do was wish that the music would never end. Those powerful emotions manifested themselves into my notes and shook my body and soul. As the piece came closer to the end, the emotions grew even stronger until finally it was all over. I didn't realize this at first, but I was snapped out of my trance shortly. It was the girl's words that dragged my consciousness from somewhere beyond my body back to reality. What is it? Her eyes wandered about in hesitation for a moment until she finally gathered her resolve and continued. Awesome. Awesome. I didn't even have to play it. Thanks. It was admiration from the bottom of her heart, or something like that. Fall looked at me with sultry eyes. Okay, and made no attempt to avert them even after I'd noticed. Along with those words, Fall suddenly looked away, sadness spread across her face, and she went silent. Huh, what's wrong? What was different? Well, they're two completely different things in the first place. Yeah. I see. Apparently, a broken heart in Chris's terms, I guess. Fall murmured to no one in particular. At that point, a fundamental aspect of the Fortelle came to mind. Maybe it's magic. Never mind. That was a stupid thought. That's what makes songs and Fortelles completely different in the first place. I tried to cover up my stupidity, but Fall interrupted me with a question. Well? But, oh. No, it happens completely unconsciously, I think. In my case, the only reason I found out was because there happened to be a Fortelle in the music classroom. I don't remember doing anything in particular. As for feeling something, I'm not sure, really. Fall said with a resigned smile. Seeing that, I felt obligated to say something to her. Was I supposed to tell her about how I'd felt magic was my emotion that time I played with Forney? But then it was a problem without a clear answer. I decided to bring it up anyway in the hopes I could raise her spirits a bit. But there's an interesting theory I feel I can sympathize with. A theory that magic is emotion. It was just something an instructor mentioned in passing though. It wasn't in any textbooks. Anger, delight, sadness, that kind of stuff, according to that instructor. Fall shut her lips again, as though immediately hiding something that had jumped to her mind. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Now it's my turn to recall something. That day, when I was completely unable to feel the thing I believed fall to be missing, as though the final piece of the puzzle had fallen into place, at that time she must have been going through hardships. She must have felt sadness. After a long, long silence, Fall looked at me with a completely different expression than she had been wearing until now.
クリスさん、
I was taken aback by that expression for a moment.
クリスさんは今悲しい？
She'd probably recognize the emotions mingled in with my tones correctly. Just as how I'd been able to feel a sense of parting from Forney's song. No, I lied and took a step backward to widen the distance between us, as I felt we were standing far too close for comfort. Fall in turn took a step forward to close the gap again and continued.
私なら
At a distance, our breath grazed each other's cheeks. She looked at me with burning eyes. I felt this wasn't right, but I didn't move. All it took for me was one more step and I would be past the point of no return. I loathed myself for no longer thinking this was something I shouldn't do, and stronger desires took control of my mind. Now I'm scared of what you're gonna do. What happened? The girl abruptly closed her eyes and inched ever closer. It was as though my hands no longer belonged to myself, and I brought them up to caress her cheek. But at that moment... Torta. We snapped out of it simultaneously, and Fall cast down her now deep red face.
あのね、
Yeah?
忘れて、今のは忘れて、なんでもないから。
Sure. Fall gathered the sheets she had dropped on the floor in a panic, wiping off the dust from them, never meeting my gaze. I still couldn't move, and kept watching on in a daze. If those sheets had never dropped to the floor, I would certainly have.
さて、お昼までまだ時間はあるし、まだまだ練習しないとね。
Yeah.
お腹は空いてる？もしよかったら先に食べる？
No, I'm still fine.
そう？それならいいんだけど。
Dang it, it was just about to get interesting. Now, with both of us still shaken by what happened earlier, our practice session afterward had hardly been productive. I saw Fall off in the hallway as she left for work, but my heart was still beating rapidly, and I couldn't get myself to calm down. I was hesitant to think too much about these newly flared up emotions, or to put them into words. I unconsciously whispered the name of a certain other girl and suddenly recalled what she had written in her letter. Had Ari been aware it would come to this?
それでもいつかファルシータさんのことはクリスにもわかる時が来ると思う。その時でいいから、心の中だけでもいいから、私のことを許してくれると嬉しいかな。
Okay. 4 more days. I hadn't been able to settle down after yesterday's incident. If I opened the door before me, Fall would be there. She would probably smile and say good morning. This process would undoubtedly continue until the graduation recital. I hadn't abandoned my responsibilities to a point where I could feel genuinely happy about that quite yet. But when I stood before the practice room like this and imagined Fall on the other side, my heart began to race, and I could no longer stifle my excitement. I took a deep breath and smoothed out my appearance before opening the door. Good morning. I called out as I stepped in, but it was quite the letdown to find no reply forthcoming. Maybe she's not here yet. I'm still 5 minutes shy of the appointed time. Fall normally arrives long before me. I decided to prepare my score sheets and Fortelle in the meantime. As I tapped the pile of sheets on my lap to straighten it out, yesterday's events came back to me vividly. If back then, those sheets had not fallen to the floor by accident, I wondered if I would have kissed her. The answer was pretty clear. The facts hadn't come forth due to a coincidental event, but the truth existed in my heart, and it had already given me that answer. Which was why I repeated the same excuses in my mind. Ari knew me better even than I did myself. She had accurately pinpointed what would happen to me. Knowing that, she responded accordingly by sending me the letter that would end our relationship. And she had even written this in the end. Please forgive me. Whoa. Trippy.
Chris-san. Ohayo.
Oh, Ohio. Ohio? It's pretty rare for you to be late.
ちょっとコーデル先生と話しててね。
She's actually
今
not
週
late.
で全部終わるから担当している生徒の最後の確認をしてるんだって。それで今日のお昼からまた聞かせてほしいんだって。
Why did she ask you? Could it be that she doesn't trust me?
たまたま通りかかったからでしょ。
Did you have some business in the main building?
まあね、講師の先生に頼まれたことがあって。
Wait, what? Did you have to copy something again?
正解。
Even with the recital coming up?
でもたったの5部だから。
The amount is kind of besides the point here.
ほら、バイトも早く終わるようになったから寝る前にほんのちょっとやれば終わるよ。
Then what's the point of getting off from work early in the first place?
大丈夫だって。そういうのも含めて信頼して頼んでくれるんだから。
Okay. Although I think there's a limit to diligence.
もう性分だと思って諦めて。
Well, if you say so, then I'll shut up about it. But I would have helped if you'd asked me, you know.
本当？なら頼めばよかったかな。
Yeah, really. Have I ever refused to help you with anything?
それもそうだね。じゃあ次からは頼もうかな。
No, please refuse yourself next time. We both laughed. After that, the atmosphere thankfully never became awkward. Fall didn't appear to be forcing herself to cover up what happened yesterday. She had fully accepted it and had a smile plastered on her face. Our relationship had evidently changed. I would no longer let Ari get in between Fall and I anymore. By now, I might as well admit that I had fallen in love with her. Bingo. Finally took you to can't even speak words right now. Took you forever to say that, man.
用意を済ませてすぐにでも始めてもらおうか。
Okay. She concisely barked at some orders in a fashion typical of Miss Cordell. Since we had practiced this morning, my body was already loosened up. Ready any time. Miss Cordell seemed a bit surprised at my words at first, then smiled for some reason. Is something the matter?
いや、何？珍しい言葉が聞けたと思ってね。
What was unusual about it?
一応用意はできていますといつもの君なら言っただろうな。嘘だ。いや、本当か。あ、気にするなという意味だ。早速始めてもらおう。
Okay then. I'm wondering if I actually have to play. I was aware of the changes in my mental state, but when it was said to my face like that, I still sort of felt like denying it.
悪かった。謝る。ほら、早く始めてくれないとこっちも困るんだ。まだ見なくてはいけない生徒がたくさんいるんでね。
Got it. Hearing Miss Cordell apologize was a first for me. Nonetheless, it seemed she sincerely was short on time, so I stopped being stubborn and brought my fingers to the keyboard. Oh, I am playing. Okay, let's do this. See you in a sec. Didn't hit 10,000, but hit 5 stars, so I'm good. We finished the performance and went pretty well. I could tell myself that it was a satisfactory result.
Ah, わかった。
Uh-oh. I thought she would have more to say than that, but she went silent and looked at me for a while. Is something the matter?
いや、なんでもない。
Okay. In any case, today's practice session wasn't over yet. When I turned around to look at Fall, I found she was staring at me with the same look in her eyes as Miss Cordell had. Did I do badly? Fall?
何？
Nothing. Is something wrong?
なんでもないよ。じゃあ帰る用意しちゃおうか。
I nodded with renewed vigor. I followed the girl's example and swiftly began packing up myself.
それじゃあ今日はありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
残りも少ない。時間は有効に使うようにな。
We understand.
君が分かっているなら問題ないだろうな。
Yeah, yeah.
では。
クリス。
Just as Fall had stepped out, I was stopped by a voice behind me. Yes, ma'am?
何かあったのか？
A lot of things happened, I guess.
そうか。ならいい。
What? Is that so? Oh, by the way, did you hear anything about Asino's partner yet?
ああ、彼はこれからだ。パートナーも無事決まった。時間的にはギリギリだが、アーシュノなら大丈夫だろう。容量もいいし、器用だからな。
I see. I'm relieved to hear that. Then, if you'll excuse me.
どうかしたの？
Fall asked as I came out of the room, probably wondering why I took so long. Oh, nothing. Miss Cordell wanted a final word with me.
なんだって？
She was asking if something happened to me, that's all.
そう。それにしては時間がかかってたみたいだけど。
I asked her about Asino as well. He finally got a partner. I was a little worried, but Miss Cordell assured me he was doing fine.
そうなんだ。よかったね。
Yeah.
あ、それで今日はどうする？
Huh? Are we gonna keep rehearsing?
その後のこと。またご飯でも食べに来ない？クリスさんの部屋でも構わないけど。
That's...
ダメ？
No, it might be nice.
なら決まり。場所はこの前がクリスさんの家だったから。
Other place is fine with me.
じゃあそれも決まり。今日は少し早めに。
Oops. We really shouldn't, you know.
お、クリスさんらしくないけど。そうだね。ちゃんと練習した方が美味しいよね。
Let's leave it at that then. Not sure about the first part of that statement, though. Fall laughed spontaneously and walked off in the direction of the practice room. I was unable to suppress my feelings of joy as I stood there watching a retreating figure. Okay. Oh, next... What? Oh. Dang it. Well... I see you awoke comfortably, but I'm gonna stop it here. I was hoping to actually go and do stuff with Fall, but okay then. See you next time. I'm hoping... Actually, I don't know if I'm hoping, but it's looking like this is gonna end about the same time as Katawa Shoujo. Symphonic Rain and Katawa Shoujo, I believe, are gonna end at like the exact same time. So I'll probably make like a video or something just to ask what I should do next. I have some ideas, but I don't know. Anyways, I was babbling, so let's end this.